Hi guys, my name is Christine and I'm a dating, relationship and personal development coach. And today I'm talking about you must become ruthless. So this is a dating advice video. And first of all, I want to get into what I mean by ruthless. Now, by ruthless, I don't mean that you should be rude or mean to someone. But when it comes to dating, sometimes you need to be ruthless when it comes to when you're actually trying to find someone that you want to be with, right? And finding the right partner for you, right? So, if you go out on a date with someone and they're not really that into it, or you feel like things are just not flowing very well, sometimes you have to be like, okay, this probably isn't the right person for me. I need to find someone else, right? I need to keep on dating until I find someone that is good for me, right? Because sometimes we stick around basically in dating situations with someone we're either not really that into, or we can tell that they're not really that into us. And sometimes they may even friend zone you. And perhaps if you have strong feelings for them, you may stick around because you're hoping that maybe one day you're going to be able to change their mind. But the thing is that when someone isn't displaying any sort of like enthusiasm towards you, they're not excited about going out on a date with you and things like that, sometimes you have to be ruthless and you have to stop talking to them now and going and finding someone new, and you keep on dating, because dating is a numbers game, right? So sometimes it can depend on a different variable. Sometimes it can depend on luck. Sometimes it can depend on how attractive you are. Sometimes it can depend on how attractive your personality is. But sometimes, it may only take 10 dates to find a really good match for you. Sometimes it can take 100 dates to find a really good match for you. Sometimes it may take 200 dates, right? If you are particularly unlucky, or perhaps you are less than average looking or something like that. But the thing is that dating is a numbers game, right? You have to keep on dating until you find someone that does actually think you're really good and you think they're really good too, that you find really attractive and they find you really attractive. And you will find someone like that if you keep on dating. See, a lot of people, they get discouraged. They get discouraged because they've been on a few dates, it didn't work out, or perhaps they got rejected too many times, and then they just give up and they become resentful and bitter, and they hate women, or they hate men, and they hate the dating world, they hate the patriarchy, or whatever it is that they're complaining about this week, right? So they become bitter and resentful, but the truth is they just didn't go on enough dates. Because I guarantee it, if you go on enough dates, you will eventually find someone. You will. It's just because dating is just a numbers game. That's literally all that it is. And you've got to see it like that. Like if you're someone that understands video games, and you've played a lot of video games in your life, like myself, you know that eventually you will get the result that you want, especially if you're playing, for example, something like Pokemon, right? And you're trying to find a shiny Pokemon, right? Because shiny Pokemon in Pokemon games are much more harder to find. They're actually really hard to find. But like if you just keep on looking in the same area, over time, eventually you will come across a shiny. Eventually you will. But the thing is that you have to be persistent. You're not going to find a shiny when the first time you walk into the grass or whatever it is that that they have in Pokemon. And the little battle thing comes up, right? The first time you're probably not going to find a shiny most of the time. So it's a numbers game. You have to keep on going through the Pokemon until you find the shiny, right? And it's the same with dating. You've got to keep on going through the men or the women until you find someone, right? That is the shiny. That is the one that you want, right? That is that rare person that you really like and they really like you back. So it's a numbers game. So you have to be ruthless. You have to be like, I can't stick around. Like, next. Right? And that's what I mean by being ruthless. You got to be like, okay, this one didn't work out. Next. Go on the next date. That one didn't work out. Fine. Next. I went on this date. I didn't really like him in that way. Fine. Next. Okay, I started talking to this woman or this guy. He flaked on me. Okay, fine. Scrap them. Next. You have to keep on doing that until you find someone. Right? There's no point just sitting around being bitter and resentful about how hard it is in dating and things like that. Just keep on going. You will find someone eventually, right? So the advice that I have for people that are, perhaps are into the online dating thing is have at least 3 apps, the 3 most popular apps. I don't know what those are right now currently, but you can look usually. Usually there's like I only have an Android phone, so on the Play Store, they usually have like the most popular apps at the top when you go into like the Play Store. So, go into your app store, see which are the 3 most popular dating apps, download them, create profiles on them, right? And the reason why I say free is because usually usually people only have one dating app. They don't have multiple dating apps. So you could potentially be missing out on a load of different men or women just because you're only using one dating app. But if you have free, you're more likely to have a larger dating pool. You're likely to find more people that you can go out on dates with, okay? So that's my advice for that, okay? So, I get a lot of people complaining about this sort of thing. Like, sometimes it seems like it's men that complain about this sort of thing. Because obviously women are quite choosy when it comes to men, which is fair enough. You'd be... there's a quote that I like. I can't remember who said it. It may have been Jordan Peterson, but he said something like, you'd be pretty choosy too if every time you had sex there was a chance that you could get pregnant. So, that kind of makes me chuckle and makes sense to me a little bit. So, I get sometimes some men talking to me about complaining about, it's so much easier for women to find dates and things like that. But the thing is that complaining about it's not going to do anything. You cannot change women and you cannot change the world, right? You cannot change the dating game or whatever it may be. So the only thing that can change then is you, right? So changing, I mean like going out on more dates, finding ways that you can find more people that you can talk to that could be possible dates for you, right? Putting yourself out there as much as you can until you find someone. Because the great thing is, if you live here in the West, you only need to find one match, right? Because I know there's some other countries where they have like multiple wives, multiple partners and things like that. But here in the West, you only need to find one. You only need to find one person that you're attracted to and they're attracted to you. That's the only thing you need to find. You just need to find one. And then when you found that one, you can just stay together, right? It's not that complicated, right? Even though it may seem like that. But if you treat dating like a numbers game, like it is like you're trying to find a shiny in Pokemon, then it starts to make much more sense, okay? And it's like, there was a quote by Jim Rohn, and it was something like, if you want something to change, then you have to change. Because you're not going to change the economy. You're not going to change the weather. You're not going to change human behavior or women's behavior, as the case may be. The only thing you can change is yourself, okay? So that means doing all that you can to make yourself appear more attractive. So that means looking up books, researching dating, filling in your knowledge gaps. Perhaps you've got some social skills that you need to work on, working on those things, working on the things that you're insecure about so you feel more confident in life, working on your appearance as much as you can. I know there's only so much you can do with your appearance, but you can still make yourself look as best as you possibly can. So that means when you exercise regularly, lift weights, do that sort of thing, make yourself look as attractive as you possibly can, have a nice haircut, wear clothes that fit you, that look really nice on you. You can do things like that. Those are things that you can control. Okay, and putting yourself out there is also something that you can control as well. There are always things that you can do to make yourself more street smart when it comes to dating. There are things that you can do that you can always do to improve your appearance, even though you might not be able to change it completely. There's always something that you can do, and that should be empowering, not disempowering, right? You should be empowered by the fact that there are things that you can do to improve your game, right? So look up dating advice, right? I think one of the best dating books in the world is 3% Man by Corey Wayne, and also Models by Mark Manson. Just get those 2 books, and I can guarantee you'll start to get better results when it comes to dating, okay? So that's my ideas and why sometimes you need to be ruthless, and you have to keep on going through people until you find that right one, right? And stop hanging about with people that are just not interested in you, okay? Because it's not going to be helpful. Okay, it's not going to help your game. So thank you so much for watching. If you'd like coaching with me, then please go to www.christineloveridge.com. Thank you so much for watching, and I shall talk to you again very soon. Goodbye.